This is the Benjamin Zulu Global. Welcome our viewers from all over the world to the home of the Heart Matters. We're converging to learn together because when you know better, you can do better. And a better life is what we all want. Better work life, better family life, better personal life.
I've met people who report that they can go for years without sex. Like, sex is not a need for them. It's not something they crave or long for. And even when they've been in relationships, well, these were people who were not celibate. Even when they were in relationships, it was more of a token for the other person and not really something they needed. Today's show brings those people to mind. People who are likely to starve their spouses of sex. I know that's not the only category, but I hope that you will talk about that, even as we talk about why starving your spouse of sex in marriage will result in Cold War.
Yes, first of all, that's a very small category of people who just don't have a very low drive and they're not bothered about it. And yet they still want marriage. So weird people. You're okay being alone, just be alone.
I think they want the companion. There's so much. Marriage is, I think, has also been really hyped so that even people who don't need it want it.
So if you want marriage, prepare to play your part. And play your part is also the physical need. So let's talk about the normal people.
Okay. Normal people who are starving their spouses of...
No, normal people who have normal needs. So we're talking about what happens when normal people have normal needs and they're treated abnormally.
All right.
That is a more case. These people who have a sexual avoidance or just they don't go for it and they don't bother marrying anyone, they will never come for that. It's not a crisis. Remember, it's not compulsory. People can just live their life. We have heard people who live celibate just like that.
Yeah.
We are talking about when you're in the context of marriage and you're depriving the other person. Why this brings problems and why is it such a big deal?
Yeah.
You know? And let's begin here by saying that people think by test driving, by sleeping before marriage, they're checking whether the person can satisfy them. And they're saying if you don't check, you may not know.
Yes.
Unfortunately, the human body, God did not think about test driving. He sealed the body with a membrane of blood.
Right.
The designer of marriage does not know what you are calling test driving. If you test drive, it doesn't predict how the sex will be. It will be stolen bread and it may work or may not work because it's a stolen bread. It is not the same as a meal prepared at a table. In fact, the dopamine of the taboo inside sex before marriage is very visual, bodily focused and physical. It commoditizes the person. You don't see the soul, don't tense their feelings, just raw desire and sensations that are physical. So people have test driven, and once they get married, sex dries up. And they innocently say, before you got married, sex was so okay. Before you got married, it was a different energy. It was a stolen bread. And one lady experienced it raw when she said, now every meeting is about, I want to smash. We no longer meet to talk.
Oh, before they're not married?
Yes. She allowed it thinking, anyway, we shall get married. That's the argument they bring. Why are you starving me? So people who don't know self-control, delayed gratification, dating right, any lack of sex is a pain. They punish, they blame you for starving them. They don't say, I'm at a season of self-control. They don't say, I'm at a season of celibacy. I'm at a season where I'm holding. I'm at a season where I'm building other compartments and capacities. No, they get angry and they call it a dry spell. It's a spell. The language people use tells you the life they're living. It's you to listen.
Yeah.
The moment they get angry at you, you are starving me. So abstinence for you is deprivation. Thank you. Thank you for revealing where you are. We are not on the same page. Goodbye.
Yeah.
Again, when they blame that you are starving them, aren't you also a human being? So it's about them. Look at the view of sex there.
Yeah.
It's not preserving what is special for that special occasion, for that commencement.
Yeah.
Marriage is a commencement, and we said you should do a ceremony to commence the journey. It's a once in a lifetime. Where are you staggering in? You are launching the last season of your life.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter the size of the ceremony. Circumstances will dictate. There may be COVID. You only do 10 people. But is it a ceremony that has a date and the way we signed and how we swore to each other? Don't take casually. And they look, where the Bible are you seeing wedding? The first miracle was wedding at Cana.
Yeah.
And I want to remind you that a lot of times who you are dealing with and what people brought, the energy they brought into the marriage, if they don't know self-control, they will not even enjoy this is special. To look replaceable, they can get it elsewhere.
Yeah.
And it becomes so self-centered when people are just looking to self-gratify that they'll never get outside themselves to please you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Intimacy is only enjoyable when you're trying to please me, I'm trying to please you.
Yeah.
Those people were given, somebody illustrated saying, in our bedroom, each has a very long spoon that you can't feed yourself with. It's too long. You scoop, but
You can't.
you can't
Yeah.
get.
Yeah.
But you can feed me,
Yeah.
and I can feed you.
Yes.
It is that selfless exchange
Yeah.
that brings fulfillment.
Yeah.
And the professor told each child to each learner to get a balloon and write their name. And then they mix the balloons in a corridor. Tell them you have 2 minutes to find your balloon. They just busted all of them without finding their balloons.
Yeah. In the rush.
Yes. Then they repeated the experiment. I told them, mix the balloons. This time, get whichever balloon is near to you and find the owner.
Oh.
And within a short time, everybody had their balloon.
That's nice. That's a very nice illustration.
There was no damage.
Yeah.
You see, when you come to the intimacy, the illustration by the professor was, we all think we are looking for happiness. We all think we are pursuing I don't know what. And there's so much madness and running and restlessness and craze. It's a craze of the world in the world.
Yeah.
Because you're looking for your balloon bursting mine as you cross and look for.
Yeah.
If only you try to give me some sunshine.
Yeah.
The person who has a small need of being helped to cross the road because they're blind, because they're too burdened, because they're pregnant, and told them, practice today. Be on the lookout for those small helps you can give. It's not always that you must withdraw your money in the account to help somebody. Those kindnesses, look for opportunities to give them. There's prudence, of course. Some people try to trap you. No, there's prudence. I'm talking about the way you let a person get in first. The way, and say, try that. And you discover our happiness was always before our sight. When you are entering the traffic and somebody is coming and you realize they are more stuck than you, the way ladies enter junction with 90 degrees, and they need to turn, but now they came so badly, they need to use another big space.
Leave us alone.
You need to give her 1 kilometer.
Like a trailer.
And she's panicking, and she got herself in a situation.
Yeah.
When you help such a lady, how do you feel?
You feel good.
Yes. It warms your heart.
Yeah.
The professor was saying, try those small things and see how they bounce back on you. When a person was trying and on their way out, many of them will just say thank you or honk or blink. They'll say thank you. They'll communicate gratitude.
Yes. Yes.
You feel better.
Yeah.
In marriage, it's when you have learned to get outside yourself, to try and be preoccupied with the other person's joy. That's the uniqueness of marriage. Those who ask what's the usefulness of marriage is one person who is just possessed, obsessed to make you happy.
Wow.
Good marriage is when that one person in the world thinks about you.
Yeah.
When they can wake you up to give you something.
Wow.
I know you're hungry, bite this. I did this for you.
Yeah.
I thought about you this way. I saw this and that.
Yeah.
It's nowhere else in the world. Lily, I know you are a good lady, but I am sorry. Not many people are thinking about you.
It's true. It's true.
You know,
Yeah.
when you marry, right, you have that one person in the world.
Yeah.
You know, even when your parent is very loving, they can't be in your life forever. You know, children pass like this. There you go.
Yeah.
Your partner is one you want to do seasons with.
Yes.
Seasons with. Seasons with. You can only find something close to that from a sibling. Siblings are in your life for a very long time. No other group is in your life like siblings. You come from the same generation.
Yeah.
You have been through seasons,
Yeah.
but the devil has been sure to plant enmity. If we can be conscious to cultivate friendship between our children, we'll have given them the best gift. Even when you're out of the picture, they will have a friend. It's not about enmeshment or interfering with their lives, but just building that camaraderie and genuine care. I saw those 3 old people, siblings, very old. Old people, but siblings. Such a rare sight.
Yeah.
2 brothers, 1 sister, saying they've always protected each other. Their parents bequeathed to them that. Of the inheritance they got from their parents
Yeah.
is genuine love for each other. And she was the youngest, and they used to treat her like the younger girl.
Wow.
They pick her, we are going here, they update her, and they take care of her affairs. And their children have many parents now. You see it? You see, when my child is on that side, they don't need to travel, commute to the other side of the world.
Yeah.
When they're with my sister, they're at home. When they're with my brother, they're at home. They feel, I said, look at this small heaven these people build. You know?
Yeah.
Our uncles would drop you with their sister, and they don't care what you go through there. It may be hell or whatever.
Yeah.
But they try to imagine we are good with my sister.
Yeah.
They just dump you somewhere. You know? When there's genuine love, your children have a larger home, larger, and there's no competition. You're happy for each other's how life turns out.
Yeah.
I always wonder, Munro said he had 11, there were 11 of them, so he had 10 siblings. But you only hear of Munro. Imagine if they love each other so much that doesn't care that Munro is global.
Yeah.
And some of us are just here and we are happy to support him on the ground, keep him connected here.
Yeah.
When you have love, doesn't care that this one went this far. This one, we just know that was our fate in life. I help where I can. You remember me when you see something that can help me. You help my child over there. Now that you have eyes, can you help us know which? You know.
That sounds so dreamy.
Yes.
Yeah.
Let's teach our children that God created these fingers shorter, longer, stronger. So wherever you have to go, this has a ring. Doesn't mean it's special. Just allocated that.
I've never thought about that.
Just, we are not talking about it. It's about the larger picture.
Yeah.
It's not that, but don't cut it. Say, I hate the way you have a ring. I'll cut you.
Yeah.
No. You know, if we can put that until they are contented
Yeah.
to look out for each other. And let me tell you, you always don't joke with a person who has a protective brother or sister. The moment a person shows up and say, that's my brother, that's my sister, I'll stand up for her, you know they have a team. You treat them differently.
Yeah.
You know, even you know they have a backup plan.
Yeah.
Because sibling connections last very long. A partner is the next person who comes, but they usually come more into your life because with them you can create babies. With them you can create life.
Yeah.
With them you can be to each other's life. This is what will happen when you starve your partner for whatever reason. And so that you don't become presumptuous, particularly those who are very spiritual. They think, why should you be preoccupied with that?
Hey.
There are people who presume that because this guy is very preachy, he is not very needy in the bedroom. The same charisma he has in the
Even
pulpit.
today, in this day and age, there are people who think like that.
Yes. There are people who don't imagine. That should be a big deal when you are full of the Spirit.
Kwani wewe hutaki? You don't they want?
Let me come to reason, tell you why people starve others.
Okay. Calm down.
What happens when you starve them and why does it bring a resentment at home? Because one, sexual need is too intense to ignore and yet too uncomfortable to insist on. It's a double-edged sword.
Yeah.
I'm so vulnerable to you. If you don't attend to me, if you deny access, if you don't attend, or you just invalidate me, I'm crushed. That's the most vulnerable place we all have. Any normal person who has the normal rhythms of life, that is a place they have a need. And one lady said, I'm married to a minister and he told me to tell you ladies that every man wants a woman who is virtuous but also crazy. Crazy in the bedroom, but virtuous for life. She's composed, has level mind for life.
Right.
In the bedroom, she's not cringy, withdrawing, or avoidant. She's free. We can go all out in desire and express ourselves to each other. That is the side, she was saying, that's the side he cannot ask for directly because it's too uncomfortable. Sexual needs, sometimes, we are supposed to communicate, but you can't insist. Because it must be voluntary. If I insist, you might say, okay, it seems like you had it too much, go ahead.
I know.
It's an insult.
Yeah.
It's an insult. And yet I'm tied with you, you have monopoly.
Yeah.
I'm stuck with you, and here you are with an attitude. It's very hard to control your desire. Why do people deny each other? Sometimes you neglect to tend to your desire, and it fluctuates, it dries up. For men, I noticed a problem a man will innocently have is when he is overworked. When men are frequently overworked, they'll just not manage. They'll be a dead horse every day. And he's genuinely not cheating. Genuinely, he just can't lift his finger. By the time he gets to bed, zero, kaput. A lot of men don't know how to manage their energy. And for the solution, a lot of men have found is to create a rhythm around that area. Not monotony or predictability, just a rhythm.
Yeah.
To know certain times of the week or something like that,
Yeah.
they know how to moderate there.
Yeah.
And they create that rhythm. Rhythm. Busy people are helped by routine to maintain consistency.
Yeah.
If they keep open doors, particularly pioneers, I must warn you about pioneers. When you come from a comfortable background, you work to realize your dreams. When you come from a poor background, you work to avoid your nightmares.
That's a good one.
The motivation is very different. Some of us were not born with role models who wanted to emulate.
Yeah.
We are born with bad examples. We must not emulate. You know, some of you have heroes. My dad is my hero. Some of us have zeros. You know what not to be. So you don't know what to be. You just know what not. The life you don't want. Sitting until past midnight to wait for a small meal. And you're avoiding that. So those of us who are driven by just disaster. You hear Pharaoh here. You can hear over the shoulders. You can feel.
Yeah.
You see others falling. It's it's real. You see your colleagues falling. My friend. We don't have, some of us don't have the freedom. We just, other people have an appointed allowance token a month from the family estate, and they have an inheritance.
Yes.
That person can take their 3-course tea with composure and peck their children goodbye and open the gate and drive with calmness, listening to the updates of today's newspaper and how the shilling is behaving and how the investment are going, and they prospect on where to transfer the shares. And that person is actually building on the legacy of my father. My father worked so hard.
Yeah.
I wish them well. That's not my lot in life. Some of us, if you don't wake up, you didn't wake up like military, If you don't hurry up, something will catch up with you. This is not, it's like funny, act or be acted on. This is not, please, do you feel like, how is your witch, how do you feel today and you want to show up? No. And a lot of times when I was starting work, people say, I don't expect to get a person like you on the phone. I'm wondering, do I have an option? Normally celebrate who? You just have to show up for duty.
Yeah.
You just have to work. I don't care. How motivated did you feel and how different was it when you go to this big shop expecting only the lowest people to attend you? Yeah. And I like that with these big Indian guys. They never develop seniority. You realize the person you're talking is very senior on top there.
Yeah.
And you're wondering, how did a normal person like you get attended by such? Yeah. They have that philosophy. Not all of them, but many. I've gone to them and you are shocked. The person attending you is the owner, is the son to, is the emperor. You're wondering, They never lose touch with their work. It's not the money. They wanted to change the whole situation. Part of what you'll be dealing with the people who starve their partners, and it's not, they did not learn to control where they're coming from. They were consumed by the work, became workaholic because of, they're driven not by faith in what they can do, but fear of what might happen.
Yeah.
They're exhausted. They always drop. Some people rest because it's time to sleep.
Yeah.
That's collapse because there's no more energy. So you're a man, a man can starve his wife unknowingly. And when you have a polite person who doesn't insist and who is also compassionate, you can starve them unintentionally. Because both of you understand. Imagine a woman who has so much things to juggle, a small baby here, the other thing there. You can't insist, you can also see. So a guy who's understanding can be starved by the wife because you also understand and you don't want to keep insisting. If the wife does not manage her space well to come to a place of mind where she can do that, that part will get swept under there. Every time. Every time. If she thinks ahead and knows our rhythm is like this, and this, she will create that space to bring herself in the mood. Because for a woman to do some things when she's not in the mood is torturous. She must bring alignment. It's not just a tambour tapping another one and there's a bike you are riding. Gear 5. No. It doesn't work like that. You must bring energetic. And if you think ahead and plan, and if there is something overwhelming you compensate it together. It's like we need a staff to assist here, or can we automate this part? Can you acquire this and the other one? And all that. Seasons will come and go. There may be seasons of health challenges and all that. There may be, but when it's only an inconvenience that we deal with, it even becomes a bonding time to challenge, to face a challenge together. That is what will happen. They will, because they can't insist on it, and yet it is so real, they develop a distance and an avoidance of opening up around anything else. Anything else. They don't share you who told them there. They don't share with you what they felt about. They don't share with you the closing in, because the most intense part, you have neglected it. And the excitement goes. The spark dies. People say, how do I bring back the spark? Sometimes the spark disappears because of this. You are neglected that part. And the moments where you can do it are usually window. People live together, but the moments they can do some things are just windows. You don't find no more couples who have a life to live. And they can do it anytime. No. The windows of allowance, availability, are only windows. You see on movies, people hanging out in the house. How many times are you hanging out at home? My friend, maybe once in a Christmas. In reality, you are, particularly in Africa, where we are first generation creators, and we only know disaster. We only know mayhem. We are trying to create, because if we don't, we know what can go wrong. We have seen the massacre of poverty. We have seen the humiliation. Imagine a couple with 5 children in one room. It's humiliation. No, too shameful. And it's raining now. There has been, because they're always the most vulnerable. They have nowhere to sleep. They have to be moved around. So when you're being told to move to higher ground, how will you construct the house immediately? You needed money to actually escape some problems, to live a certain life. When you have come from that, I want to warn you, it's possible to drift all the way because you're not conscious of what will happen. The last thing that will result why it brings chaos in your house is that when you deprive, you are invalidating and withdrawing affection. They feel unloved, unworthy. It affects their self-esteem. It affects how they show up as a husband. That's one thing you can crush a man's self-esteem. They don't feel desirable enough. And they wonder why. And many of them, because they try, they're rejected. When a man is always initiating and being told no, he loses courage to initiate. What follows is mental fog. What follows is anger tantrums or silent treatment or withdrawal, and it deteriorates to physical separation. Because whenever I see you, you're showering here, I see you in the bed, I get appetized again, hopeful again, performing some acts, thinking now I'm winning, only to be disappointed again. What happens when you are hopeful, disappointed, hopeful, disappointed? resentment, confusion, mental fog, anger. You find your partner changing to a person you did not know. And eventually, discouragement can set in and depression. I'm saying these things because not everybody will try to find a substitute, cheating and all that. Even when they cheat, that is not the same. It's actually just adds guilt. It doesn't, and a lot of people, when you have already journeyed, you have invested, you have children, breaking up is not always easy.
Yeah.
And they don't know what is causing this, whether it will pass away.
Yeah. Yeah, there's always that hope that tomorrow things will change.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so the urges begin to play in their minds, to plague their thoughts, to drain their mental energy. And over time, because it's too torturous, they find a way to survive. And for men in particular, the energy pent up, how it operates for men, it's like an energy buildup that needs release. And they can't focus. They keep seeing beautiful women everywhere, sexy women everywhere. So he is all over here because he's starved. Everything is appetizing.
Yeah.
And he knows that's not him. That's not the path he wants to go.
Yeah.
And every time he calls the wife or they're talking, he's excited or feeling angry or... So with time, they start living parallel lives. If you are careless about your partner's needs, eventually you will drift until you are roommates, but you're not soulmates. You become cellmates. It's like the home is a cell.
Yeah. Pingu za maisha.
Yes, now you are handcuffed.
Yes.
And you cannot relate everything. So small problems become explosive. Small disagreements become fights. When a person, they start having a lot of trips outside. They may not even be cheating, just want to stay away from you. And when they can talk with a neighbor until 8 p.m. just across there, to minimize how many hours they have to think about this. It starts like a small thing. But when people get tired of hoping, they try to learn to survive by muting, doing whatever, muting down. And if they are strong enough to withstand or a year, sometimes, the starvation is not continuous.
That's even worse, I think.
Yes. Once in a blue moon,
Yeah.
they come to you and disappear again. So to keep you anticipating, anxiety, uncertain. Many times we will allow people be on when they feel like, or when they want a favor, or when they think you are giving up, or something. And that kind that you say countable times per year, that's worse than nothing for the woman.
It's worse, yeah.
Because it sets you in an ambiguity.
Yeah.
Where are we? There are very few people you can explain the sexual starvation to.
Yeah. Especially if it's not continuous.
Yes.
Yeah.
You can almost find no one in church, for example. And many people don't know counselors, don't know therapists. It's like that's a taboo topic. And sometimes the one who's starving you is the one having a lot of religious fire. And they can just starve you by that now they're fasting, or they are this, or the other, anything, until you give up. And when you have suffered, they give you a crumb, bread crumbing. You're given a slice.
Yeah.
Now that month was good. So you start buying time, hoping when children grow. It's so cruel. If you're having a genuine struggle, you should address it together. You should not form a block. Let me tell you, 99% of problems are solvable when you are together in them.
Yeah, true.
But many times people starve you because they have mentally departed.
Yeah. I think it's a form of deception.
Yes, and do you know there are women who are married when they still resent the idea of
Men.
Yes, but they wanted children and a family.
Yeah. So the man is a collateral.
Yes, so after they get the children, you're bothering them. it's so hurting when the only person who is supposed to meet your needs treats you like a bother. Like you are too much. And they have otherwise valid excuses. As I told you, if you don't create time to be available that way for your partner, life can carry you away with busyness.
Yeah.
Life can genuinely carry you away. You're always attending clients. And we can see you're making, for the family, you're sacrifices for the family.
Yeah.
But you're not making sacrifices for me, for us.
Yeah.
There comes a time you can just close the shop to be home early for that. You just close early because normally that's Thursday or that's Saturday or that's the Sunday. That's the day you guys usually have that between you. If you can make that, you can keep your family happy, your partner happy for the long term.
Yeah.
But if they must come last after busyness, and women sometimes can use excuses a man cannot prove.
Yeah.
Like she's in her season and it just prolonged. She's back. I don't know. I'm not feeling this. You can't prove. You can't say, let me check.
Yeah.
So there are many excuses people can use.
Yeah.
And it's too personal for you to force.
Yeah.
We're just saying it's cruelty. And in the end, even that which you thought you have, you lose it. And many people torment you this way and even block you out of their life. They start saying you became deadbeat. And it's them who desert you.
Yeah. Yeah.
And because they know you can go to court of law and say it's sexual deprivation, they give a little bit that you can't claim deprivation.
Yes.
The solution is always to, when you see a malicious intent, disengage yourself. Address that problem independently without saying, at least 1 month, at least the other week, at least. Because the moment they brain cramp you, the more they're taking away power.
Yeah.
They're making you begging every time, hoping, overperforming, And when you feel so foggy and confused, when you are single and you knew it's not available, you would set your mind.
Yeah.
But now when you are here and you have a person, that's torture. Yes.
From the different experiences I've listened to, because it's a common-ish phenomenon.
Yes.
But I always find that people who deprive their partners of that need, I find them to be deceptive. I don't know why. It usually coincides with some deception.
Dishonesty.
Even when there's a divorce or those family meetings, this person who deprives will usually be exaggerating the flaws of their partner,
yes,
and not owning up to their weaknesses. From your practice, what's the connection between sexual deprivation and deception?
Because I know you're suffering and I don't care. That's the fundamental. I know you're suffering and I don't care. And I told you, people can find their satisfaction elsewhere. Masturbation, pornography, whatever. Even secret affairs or emotional affairs. Sometimes, particularly women are capable of emotional affairs that have no sex. And they find their satisfaction, their affection. And once in a blue moon, when they want sex, now you're the two.
Oh.
So you are there waiting until. But they're flirting, everybody is so happy out there and they're getting the attention and the. People can do that.
Yeah.
Men can transfer their energy to work. And work. Until even that one day that they're not working, they're a dead horse. They are not energy. They're finished. But they're the ones controlling the work. You see, the work is not the one controlling them.
Yeah.
They can make time if they want. If they treat this as much a duty, like that one, they can make time for it.
Let me just throw in a quick one. Is there a psychological connection between that thing of being deceptive and the sexual function?
Yes, we say it is just an uncaring person. When a person, in the absence of erectile dysfunction or pain, sometimes for women they have a problem that causes them to experience pain. If there's a genuine problem, we can address it together and we can look for solutions. But when a person can deprive you and they don't care, we are simply saying they're uncaring, they're unloving, and most likely they wanted you for another benefit. Because you support them so well, you make them succeed, you make them look good, you give them a name, give them status. Sometimes people want you because they need this marriage for their career, they need this marriage for money, they need this marriage for whatever.
Yeah.
But they don't care about you as a person.
Yeah.
And because they can't admit it, and when they deprived you, you became irritable. They say because you're irritable, that's why they don't do it.
Yeah.
It's very narcissistic.
Yeah, exactly.
They gaslight you.
Yes.
When you react, they use the reaction as the reason, yet you react to the.
Yeah.
And The solution is always to avoid the rat race. You only win rat race if you don't participate.
Yes.
Just know, I know the truth and you know the truth.
Yes.
I will not start arguing about what we both know. I may not convince the world, but I will not stay here and be broken inside.
Yeah.
When people know you can't tolerate nonsense, many times they'll think twice. And if they don't think twice, you have also won. You get to know that you know where you stand.
Yeah.
You have nobody.
Yeah.
Yes.
Thank you, Benjamin. That was an important show. Get yourself a copy of Millionaire Moves among all of other Benjamin's work. Healing Your Inner Self is also an important book. It helps you to know yourself. Sometimes we are hurting other people without knowing because we don't know that we are hurt and we need to be healed. So go to www.benjaminzuluglobal.com and find yourself a copy of this book and all of his work from anywhere you are around the world. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.
This is the Benjamin Zulu Global. Welcome our viewers from all over the world to the home of the Heart Months. We're converging to learn together because when you know better, you can do better. And a better life is what we all want. Better work life, better family life,